Hi, I'm MTG and welcome to my channel where today we're going to be checking out a preview card from the Lord of the Rings set Tales of Middle-earth. So huge thank you to Wizards of the Coast for letting me heckin' preview this card. So let's jump on in and check it out. This rare enchantment saga is called There and Back Again. For step 1, up to one target creature can't block for as long as you control There and Back Again. The ring tempts you. For step 2, search your library for a mountain card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Step 3, create Smog, a legendary 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying, haste, and when this creature dies, create 14 treasure tokens. I hope that was an exciting card reveal for y'all. So as far as like breaking down the card and things that I think would have like higher synergy for maybe like a commander deck is kind of breaking down like what we really want out of this card. And it's probably to get to step 3 where we're creating that Smog legendary 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying and haste, with the big key part here being that when it dies, we're creating 14 treasures. But before we dive into that, let's take a look at what these other steps are. So for step 1, we have the one target creature can't block for as long as you control There and Back Again. So ideally that would be like 3 upkeeps potentially that they're not going to be able to block with that creature, maybe 2 or less if we're going to proliferate through this, saga here. But where I think this like one creature can't block for as long as the saga is out will be really helpful is if we have any sort of creatures that care about maybe making treasures through like combat. So we have stuff like Professional Facebreaker, Grim Hireling, or maybe Maga the Brazen Outlaw, where, if an opponent can't block, that means you can potentially get those creatures through and start generating, treasures for yourself. And again, with this card, potentially allowing you to make 14 treasures when that Smog dies, this could be really highly synergistic in a treasure deck. So if we look at step 2 here, we have search your library for a mountain card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So with this card, I think it's really interesting that it just lets you get a mountain card, and it's not a basic mountain, but the other piece of this is it's not coming onto the battlefield tapped. So then that means you could potentially get like a dual land, maybe a shock land, and bring that in if it has, that keyword mountain in that land type. I think this could be really interesting for helping you mana fix outside of just treasures, because treasures are nice, but once you sacrifice them, they're gone. And then we have step 3 with, again, this spooky legendary Smog creature that's coming into play, which is going to be really interesting because it has haste, so you can hit face with it right away. But where I'm thinking we can get some real shenanigans done here is if we have anything that allows you to like copy legendary tokens or just copy tokens in general, so that if we copy, Smog, then that means one of these legendary tokens are going to die to the legendary rule. So we could actually use that in our favor to potentially have a 6/6 in the air that can hit someone's face and then maybe generate 14 tokens still, or specifically 14 treasure tokens, where we could then utilize that value to potentially, close out the game in some other way. So with some ideas for like potential cards that, could create copies, we have stuff like Cabaretti's Confluence, Cackling Counterpart, and Ericinus, wow, I can never pronounce that. Vile Duplication. Good thing the card will be up there on the screen. So like those kind of tricks I could see, again, using one to make a copy of Smog, and then it dies to legendary rule, and poof, now we have 14 treasure tokens, which could be an amazing way to close out a game if we have something like Reckless Fireweaver on the board, where now we're going to start painting our opponents for dealing damage that way. Or if we have like, was it the Disciple of the Vault, where maybe we're sacking our treasures and then dealing damage that way. So through this, I think there's a few creative ways that we can, utilize this treasure for a potential win con. But one thing to keep in mind is I think most people are going to try to prevent you from being able to get to that step 3. So I think any sort of like proliferate effects that we could potentially have here, or some way to make it like hexproof, maybe like Tameo safekeeping or something along those lines, where we're going to be able to protect this. Overall, I think this card, again, is going to generate a ton of value for us. And I don't know, I definitely saw it as like a home in some sort of treasure deck, but 14 treasures is just good outside of, treasure decks. I mean, even that step 1 ability could be helpful to, shut down potentially an arch enemy by making it harder for them to block damage coming at their face. So that was kind of my overall thought process for this card. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of what you would do with this card, or what commander deck that you think would fit, really well with this, or any other format that might use this card as well. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to Wizards for giving me this free preview card. It was amazing. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and bye.